Some potential 2016 candidates hit the road, and so do we. Hi, I'm Anthony Salvanto, once again for CBS News, here with our road warrior, Scott Conroy from Real Clear Politics. Scott, you've been out there. I saw Rand Paul went out to Berkeley, not a place you always see a Republican. Tell me about that event.
Yeah, Berkeley is not exactly a bastion of Republican presidential politics, but that's what makes Rand Paul such a fascinating, I think, likely candidate for president in 2016. I mean, here's a guy who is a much better politician than his father was. And remember, his dad did pretty well in 2012, finished third in Iowa, did well in a bunch of other states. And Rand Paul really has the ability, I think, to not only coalesce his father's support, but really expand that. He's done a lot better with the party establishment within the GOP, and what you're seeing him do now in things like going to speak at Berkeley is to really try to radically expand the Republicans' reach by reaching out to young people, people that don't necessarily have traditionally conservative views, those libertarian-minded folks. And it's going to be fascinating to see how that works.
Yeah, it's a great point. His father won first-time voters and under 30 voters in both Iowa and New Hampshire. Now, contrast the Rand Paul campaign with some of the other potential candidates. I've seen Marco Rubio out there, Bobby Jindal, as you've reported as well. What message are they giving to try to differentiate themselves?
Well, one thing to really watch as we go into these next few months, remember we're only about a year away from the campaign really being in full effect, is foreign policy. I mean, right now, what we're seeing with Russia and the Crimea is so interesting as far as it applies to Republican politics, because Rand Paul has really led the charge in this non-interventionist wing of the party that's really been ascendant in recent years. And then you see folks like Rubio, who's kind of leading the charge on the other sort of traditional side of the coin, where you have people that talk about the continued need for the United States to project power internationally. And I think you're going to see international politics actually play a much bigger role than usual in the context of a primary this time.
Very interesting, and that's a great point. The Republicans have shifted somewhat from where they were on Iraq and Afghanistan now, in the polling towards a different stance. Thanks, Scott. As always, a year to go before the campaign starts, but still plenty going on.
That's right.
Scott Conroy from Real Clear Politics. I'm Anthony Salvanto from CBS News. Thanks for joining us, and stay with CBSNews.com 24/7 for your political coverage.